there's
Is this a tankless?
this is a tankless water heater.
Okay.
So this is the same thing. For every piece of service equipment, you have to have a lockable disconnecting means. And in this case, it's this switch right here. So you can turn it off, and then you can put a lock through here. Okay. So this one circuit, this is circuit A6. Everything's labeled, right?
Is that
So
110?
this is a 110. So this one circuit feeds the controls for the water heater, which is minimal draw. It's just a thermostat control basically, and it feeds this little sump pump. It also has so whatever service equipment that you may not need up here, and the one receptacle over on the other side. Okay, that's over on the junction box over there. So that circuit 6 only feeds those certain things.
Okay, that's 110. That's facing the wall there.
It's on the junction box where the conduits go through the roof over there. I pointed.
You haven't seen it yet. We'll see it later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a.
How much current does it draw?
This thing.
Not very much, right? It's not
Let me see if I.
anything.
It's just for controls. Let me see if I can.
So it's not very much.
No, it's minimal.
And this thing has a circulating pump. I think you said.
Okay,
that.
so I'll talk about the
right
plumbing thing aspect of it while we're here. Okay. This is your tankless water heater. This tank it can be a water heater, but this is used as a storage tank. Right? That's all that is. It just holds the water. And yes, it's a circulating system, so water's always traveling through from the kitchen and back to here.
Is that cold or hot?
This is a hot.
Oh,
This is a
hot.
tank. Just all it is. It's just a tank. Okay. Again, valves that are going to turn on water. I believe this valve here is what turns on a direct shot down to the first hand sink at the north wing next to the full height cabinet. Right. And I believe this other one is kind of runs the balance of the system. In terms of when this thing operates and heats, it's this red timer right here, Floyd. Okay, and if you see how what this looks like here, it looks just like your typical lamp type timer, right?
Yeah.
You pull the tabs,
Yeah.
so at 7 o'clock in the morning, it turns on, heats everything until 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and then it'll stop. And then it'll turn back on the next day. So to be on an efficient way, it's set in that fashion, okay? But in terms of operating it, it's the same like any lamp type timer.
Suppose you turn that off. We can still get hot water after it circulates, right?
Correct, because it will still be hot water in the system.
Okay.
But but I don't know how many feet are in the system, but you can imagine it's only going to be temporary.
Yeah, but otherwise, that's always going to be heating that hot water.
Otherwise, you'll always have hot water.
Yeah, once it's turned off.
So if you're never using it, then
Yeah, we don't
which
use it.
I don't know if that's ever going to be the case, right? You're always going to have somebody be using the kitchen.
It's not like cold when you take a shower.
If we turn the timer off.
Then you have to wait for the cold water to circulate.
Right.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But that's
Believe it or
better.
not, these recirc pumps, Floyd, are really they're nice.
I know they're nice for a home, but
Right,
here when you use
right.
the kitchen only once a week.
Correct.
And we're trying to
Efficiency
conserve,
is key. Efficiency is key.
Utility bills. Our utility bill is so high.
Right.
Okay.
What's the water? That's a water spigot?
And you have a service hose bib,
Okay.
so that you can plug a hose in here and use it to wash the roof or do whatever you need.
Okay.
Okay, that's all it is. Water filters here. There'll be instructions in your O&M manual about the product that you need and where you need to get additional filters in the future. This just unscrews, filter out, new filter in.
So it's a hot water filter?
It's a hot water filter, and this is an expansion tank. Okay,
So-
this is the hot water gets too hot, it needs to expand. That's where the water's going to go.
Okay. Now you have cold water in there, right? Hot.
Should be hot water in there.
No, but how do you get it hot if you don't have this turned off?
Oh.
Well, this is the heater. That's just the circulating
Okay, if
pump.
you had that timer turned off,
Then you're going to have a certain amount of hot water stored in that tank and the lines. And until
then
that's used up,
eventually-
it's going to be gone, and then you're going to need to somehow turn it
no,
back
but
on.
that could be all cold. And does that cold water have to go through the line before you get hot water, or can you get it directly from the tank?
Depending on how it's set up. The thing is, Floyd, is This is a tankless heater. It only heats up the water as you need it.
That's right.
So when you have the recirc pump on, it's kind of saying, hey, we need water, but really it's just causing the water to flow through it. This will heat it up. Once the hot water starts coming back to the system, it turns off.
Yeah, but what about that tank?
The tank, all this is for volume. That's all it is. If somebody turns on and needs a big pot of water, and for any reason this thing, it would keep up, but it just makes it less
efficient to have
less work.
Wait a minute. So let's say everything is turned off. The guy comes, one of the women comes in, turn the hot water on.
It'll take approximately 30 seconds to
whatever,
90,
whatever. But it doesn't come through that tank. That comes through the.
It comes through
tankless.
this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
The tank is really going to shine when the pump's on and the whole hot water hydronic system's flowing. That's when you have the tank going. And other than that, it's just a storage tank for more
so
volume.
when the pump's not going, that just sits there.
It just
and
sits
everything
there.
goes through this.
Everything
coil.
goes through this.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's.
I would turn it on, check it out, see how beneficial it is.
Yeah.
If it's not beneficial, you can turn it off and start, isolating certain devices.
Yeah.
Run it right off the hot water.
Well, for 1 year, we probably want to turn everything on.
Hey,
right?
turn it on, let it run.
Yeah, let it run.
Floyd, I would let it run and give it a trial run. See how bad it affects the bill, because I think you'll be surprised. You'll be like, hey, that's not so bad. It really doesn't do much. Because it's not running the natural gas. All it's doing is running that small pump that draws very low amperage.
Or if you know you're only running once a week, Sunday mornings.
Yeah, we could set it that
something
night.
like that.
Yeah,
you can put a time clock in here, a astronomical time clock that says, okay, it now actually turn on. Get rid of the time delays on that later on when you're comfortable with it, and say, hey, Sunday mornings, 6 o'clock, before anybody gets here, let's run the circulating pump.
Do that. Yeah.
So, and then if you know it's just a once a week load, it's not a commercial kitchen where you're running 7 days a week. So it's you can put an astronomical time clock in that's going to every time, every week, run the system and then get the system in there, or that you can do other things with.
Even if the system's operational for 1 day, I mean, in a kitchen, if they have to wait 30 seconds for water to warm up, it's 10 times a day. I mean, we're in a drought right now, Floyd. Good Lord, the city coming down on you.
Different from where
somebody
this-
gonna set
this
that
line
through something before you guys leave?
We could manipulate that, absolutely. I don't know what the schedule is or what it's set up for now. It's probably
So
set up
are we
to
okay?
pressure relief.
Are we okay over time?
Yeah,
That goes right onto the
That's
membrane.
probably
Yeah, it's not a problem.
I mean, there's other.
It's warm water,
It's
but
always on.
Okay.
Right now,
There's-
it's always on.
I guess it's always on, right?
yeah, I mean, there's
No, it's not always on. It's time.
Shouldn't be broken like that.
So what is this?
it's either that or
Timer set or
or
not.
it can be run over to the roof scepter, but
It probably is,
I
right?
think it's not
Well, you know what?
it's
It's
not a
hard to say.
condensate,
It
so
could be
it's
the
not
temperature.
required.
The water loop temperature might be a little high. This thing is only rated. It's just a pressure release valve. If it does get too hot, builds so much pressure, it leaks.
I believe it's 7.
You could probably just pull this and there might be a little debris in the diaphragm, and then maybe we'll run a little water through it, see if we can clear it out. But other than that, the thing shouldn't be dripping too much.
7 to 6? 7 in the morning to 6 at night?
Yeah, so it's trip 7, it turns on. 7 to 10.
Better.
No, looks like it turns on, gives you hot water from like 6:45 to 7.
6:45 in the morning to 7 at
7
night.
to get you hot water in the system. Turns off until about 10 in the morning. Turns on again from 10 to 1.
Well,
Circulates again.
Schedule one.
And then turns off at 12:30. Turns on again at
It should be people.
3:30
They have it in the morning. 4 or 5 months.
to 6 o'clock.
But
Turns on the
we
heat.
don't have anybody in charge.
So it gives you a hot shot in the morning,
So Sherry's sort of working on it.
afternoon lunch, and then the evening.
And then to adjust
really
that,
like that.
yank off that plastic cover.
Yeah, I
Thinking
haven't
about putting
popped
one
this
of these
thing off
recirc
yet,
pumps
but
at my
Okay.
house. But
Yeah, even for a regular hot water tank, it's worthwhile.
Right,
to
right.
do it.
As long as you isolate the lines,
flick it,
these
turn it
are
off,
beautiful.
turn it on.
You know, I'm thinking that
you just flick it
it
down.
really is
Right
beneficial.
there.
Set a time clock.
Oh, I see. Those blue dots are the switches. Which one
That,
do we
that,
use?
that would be nice. I hear that they're tying in outlets.
Sorry, I didn't ask the long time.
Now it's
Okay,
and I
got it.
saw an outlet.
Right over there.
It is a little bit. That's
It
not
is.
crazy.